and make sure you make the best use of it. And please ask questions during the end of the session. Last 10 to 15 minutes would be allocated for it, so please make sure you utilize the session to your
Thank you so much, Priyanka.
Yes, sir.
Much appreciate the introduction. Very good evening to everybody. I hope you all are able to hear me loud and clear. Am I audible enough? If yes, please type it in the chat box.
Yes, sir.
That. All right, perfect. Are you also able to see me? Okay, now you will be able to see me. I hope that's a little better now. Okay, I get a lot of yeses. Excellent. So very good evening, everybody. I hope, first of all, you all are in a safe place and ensuring everything that's possible to ensure a successful lockdown. I understand these are very testing times, and you know, especially at your age, it's literally impossible to be caged in, not understanding what's happening outside, not getting a clear picture of what exactly is going to happen in the future. And it's very, very tough, and it's literally impossible to stay home in a singular location and try and understand how we go about this from here. But yeah, we're going to try and ease whatever possible from our end to make sure that, you know, this time that you spend here, all caged up and locked down, is worth the wait. So my name is Rishi, and as Priyanka has already given my introduction, I'm here to talk about why mentorship programs and why mentorship basically is important. I will also try and share my screen to whatever possible extent. Just let me know if you guys can see it. Again, we will use the same thing. If it's visible, please let me know it's visible. Okay, excellent. So what I will do is I will turn off the the video now, so that you know, we have a better bandwidth to ensure that, you know, my voice is more audible than my video itself. So I'm going to talk about why mentorship is important. I have segregated that into a couple of line items, not more than 4 or 5, to help you understand what it actually does. So we have allocated some time towards the end of the session to ensure that, you know, I'm pretty sure that there'll be a lot of questions that are running into your mind right now, and you would want all of them answered as well. So what we will try and do is we will try and take up as much as questions possible. And if there's anything left beyond that, you can always reach out to me through WhatsApp. That's the only way that you can do that, or you can do that from email. I'm not available in social media, not due to the social distancing stuff, but yes, I by choice try and stay away from social media as much as possible. It gives you more chance to, you know, enhance your skills while you're away, and not spending too much time in front of your, you know, phone screens or your laptop screens. So let's get back. What does this do? What does mentoring do? So in simple terms, you all might be aware that this particular system of mentorship, it rather originated from India. When I say this particularly refers to the old age, or the age-old rather, you know, the Gurukul systems, wherein there were teachers, there were students, and there was immense possible way of learning from wherever and however possible. I was reading this article the other day which said, you know, so Socrates, you know, mentored Plato, Plato mentored Aristotle, and then Aristotle mentored Alexander the Great, who obviously, you know, ended up conquering majority part of the world. Now, having said that, does this mean that all of you will go ahead and become conquerors tomorrow? Does this mean that, you know, mentorship is everything and you cannot do without it? The answer is no. It is an enabler to enhance you. It is an enabler to polish the skills that you already have and give you that extra edge over others. Now, in such a scenario wherein you have the best of the best teachers available in your schools, you have parents who have brought you up all this while and have made sure that you get the best of education, the best of health, the best of living by all means, the mentorship program is just a top up to it. What it does, it enhances those particular elements of your social life, of your academic life, and it makes sure that you don't get stuck anywhere. It's an old concept as per the human race goes. As we say, every student has a teacher or a guru, and we can see many instances in our mythology itself where where a mentor helps his or her mentee realize and attain their full potential. Now, in Indian mythology, since I'm touching upon that, Arjun had a guru, Dronacharya, and this was the best that he could have. I mean, Dronacharya is known to be one of the best gurus available on earth till date, and Arjun had that. But there were times in Mahabharata, especially, we've read that Sri Krishna became Arjun's mentor. He guided, advised Arjun at every step, enabling him to go in the right direction and win the war. Now, Dronacharya was Arjun's guru, taught him all the skills and lessons, which he also taught to his other students. The mentoring relationship teaches us few things that is, Krishna as a mentor not only advised Arjun, but also provided him guidance in each and every step. Now, whenever Arjun was doubtful whether he was doing the right thing or not, who stepped in? This was Krishna who stepped in as an able mentor and clarified his doubts. For example, now there was an instance wherein Arjun cast his weapons down and tells Krishna that he will not fight. Krishna then mentors Arjun and explains to him his duties, and that leads him towards success. Now, the mentor's duty is also to protect his or her mentee from any imminent danger by giving him proper advice and nurturing basically the mentee's growth. Now, there was an instance again in the Mahabharata wherein Arjun had taken a vow to kill Jayadratha before sunset, failing which he would kill himself by jumping in a fire. Now, the Kauravas were smart enough. They smartly hid Jayadratha from Arjun so that Arjun kills himself. However, at that point of time, Krishna as a mentor took it up to him to protect his mentee by creating an artificial eclipse by using his Sudarshan Chakra to hide the sun. Now, this forced Kauravas to believe that the day was over and Arjuna's death was imminent. Then Jayadratha reappeared in joy, even as the sun emerged from the eclipse, the moment Arjun killed Jayadratha. Now, hence, it's very important for a mentee to find a mentor who can guide and lead you towards success amidst the present complexities of life and career. Now, having said that, there will be undoubtedly a lot of instances in your academic life, in your professional life tomorrow, wherein you get stuck. Now, if I have to talk about myself, I come from an age wherein the concept of mentorship was not published. It wasn't like you have a mentor in office or while you're doing your MBA or in college. No, that wasn't there. So we had proclaimed our own mentors. We had decided that this person seems to be well educated, seems to be a guru in terms of a lot of gyan giving and in terms of his knowledge about particular things. So let him be my mentor for this particular skill. So that's how we have grown up. We never had a structured program as such, wherein it taught us that this is how what the importance is, or this is how it's going to go about in your life, and this is how it's going to help you. But nowadays, I feel that your generation is very lucky because you have this edge, which was not available a couple of years ago. Now, this program basically what it does for you is it not only helps you achieve your career goals, it also helps you achieve your personal goals. There will be a lot of times in your career wherein you get stuck, wherein you feel that wish there was somebody who could step in now and tell me if it's the right thing to do or not. Like, let's say for instance, so the kind of situations that I would assume that you grapple with right now is what to choose in terms of your subjects. Is this the right thing for me? Is the minor the correct decision? Is the major the correct decision? Who is able enough to tell me that if you go to a particular teacher, he's going to tell you the best, undoubtedly. But then there will be other people who tell you against it. And they said that no, knowing your skills and your capabilities, I feel that, finance is right for you, or marketing is good for you, so on and so forth. And this war will continue to happen as long as you study. This will continue to happen as long as you pick up your job. The first job itself will be so confusing that you feel that, oh, should I go with a startup or should I go with a brand name? What is right for me? Should I start with a small company or should I start with a very big company? Is this the right approach or is this not the right approach? So all these questions can be answered by people who have been in the industry, been there, done that. Because these are the people who have learned from their experiences, who have made mistakes, tried to improvise, made those mistakes again, tried to improvise, and finally they have reached a stage wherein they can say proudly that, yes, this is what I wanted. You hear so many examples, from people who have been educated in the IIMs and the IITs of the world, and then suddenly one day you read in the newspaper or on social media that so and so person quit his lucrative IT company job and decided to start something on his own, or he joined an NGO, or he did something totally for his own satisfaction and decided to go on an adventure trail. So there'll be so many things that you hear, and that'll make you feel that, what am I doing? How should I be going about this? So when I see the topper of IIM or IIT or IFIN doing this, what is the right path for me? So that's wherein all these mentors step in and guide you on how to go about it step by step in a very, very structured manner. Now, moving on to the next level, which is called, which I in my terms call the social balance. How do you think a mentor can help you maintain a better social balance? It's pretty simple. We make students better leaders by enabling them to relate to different kinds of people, help them develop strong communication skills so that they can handle any situation. Now, in simple terms, what this means is that when you have a mentor assigned to you, this particular mentor is going to talk of things which are running past him on a day-to-day basis, things that he has experienced in his or her career, and he can relate to them. Let's say, for example, a simple question: what is the right kind of person that should be there who's going to be taking my interview? So at this point of time, if you feel that you being the best would not matter, whoever interviews you is it's a very, very small thing. I'm afraid that's not the right approach, because in our terminology or in our kind of experience sectors, what we strongly believe is that an HR person will ask you questions pertaining to his particular field, his particular level, from an HR perspective. A person from marketing, or let's say a person from operations, is going to ask you questions pertaining to operations. So his or her expertise lies in that particular subject. Hence, his style of interviewing is going to be totally different, right? So there is no set rule that these are the kind of questions that are going to be asked by the interviewer, and these are the kind of answers that you should give. It will vary depending on who is the person who is going to be conducting your interview. Now, at this stage, if you have been through a mentor, if you have been going through a mentorship program, your mentor will tell you that these are the gaps. So when we as corporates come to take interviews, it depends on whom are we sending first. If it's the HR round, then these are the kind of questions that are going to be asked, and you need to be prepared with it. If it's going to be the operations round, then these are the kind of questions that you should be expecting, and this is how you need to face it. Similarly, every industry is going to have its own set of skills. So FMCG are going to be asking you questions pertaining to their levels. And anything related to a marketing company or an industry or an IT company, all of them will have different styles. Now, your kind of college, which has mentors from each and every walk of the industry, IT or FMCG or industry, so they have an equal blend. So they know that our students are going to be coached in such a manner which will cover all aspects of the society. It's not reserved to any particular stream. It's not reserved to any particular area or sector, so that you are just restricted to one particular choice, and then you do not have the ability to pick up anything else. So this is how your mentors are going to help you balance it out socially. This is how your mentors are going to help you understand what it means when you're an assistant manager. What does it mean when you're a manager or a senior manager or a vice president of a company or a managing director? Each and every level has his or her own style of working, and that will reflect in the way they talk, in the way they communicate with you. And these mentors are going to help you out understand that in a very, very simplified manner. So that's how you're going to balance it in a social level. I'm hearing a few messages. I'm reading a few messages wherein it says it's not audible. Priyanka?
Sir, it is audible.
It is audible?
Yeah.
I have a couple of messages wherein I'm reading voice isn't clear or no audio, sir. So I will request people if you could just check your systems once and see if that works. Pradeep, Priyanka, you can hear me loud and clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, excellent. So I will move on to the next slide, which talks about self-esteem. Now, it's pretty simple, you know. As a mentor, I'm someone who's always going to be in the student's corner. I'm going to be a champion. I'm going to be believing in young, personalities, and I'm going to recognize and celebrate their respective successes. Now, what this means is, I, as a mentor representing a corporate, become a part of you. And so this is an exchange program, brother. So more than me helping you out, it's like you guys helping me out majority of the times. It's like me understanding what's happening with Gen Y, what's happening with Gen Z, and how is it different from Gen X? What is the stuff that we've been doing so far? How is it different today? So we consider ourselves people who have started with the radios and the black and white televisions and the color televisions and the LCDs, and now it's, you name it, HDs and the HDRs and 4Ks and 5Ks. It just goes on and on and on. So these are things that we will also be learning from you. Now, what this means is that while learning things from you, we are going to put ourselves, we as mentors are going to be putting ourselves in your shoes, trying to understand things that you are going through on a day-to-day basis, and trying to balance ourselves as per your understanding. Now, what this means is there might be a lot of things which I, as a working professional, might find irrelevant as of today. But I don't know. Until unless I meet you guys, until unless I understand your perspective, I wouldn't even come to know that this is something that's been trending. This is something that's really, really popular right now. Let's say, for example, I come from a generation wherein we had our own cubicles in office and we liked our privacy. We used to carry, stuff to office like, family photos, maybe an aquarium, a mini aquarium, or, some kind of pots and flowers and things like that. Things which make it my own private desk, right? Few years back, the trend changed. It said, no more cubicles. We'll be looking at, collaborative workspaces. So this means that now people will no longer have their own cubicles. They're going to sit along with everybody else and will have almost half the space that you used to have earlier. So can I still carry my aquarium to office? Can I still carry my family photos to office? Can I still carry my mementos or stuff that I've gathered from all over the world to office and keep it on my desk? The answer is no. Now you reach office and you sit at a place which is available. So I don't even have a regular desk as of today. So what this means is that the trend has completely changed. I like it or not, but this is what's happening in the industry today. It's called a collaborative workplace, which has bean bags, it has hammocks, it has, bar stools, it's got all kind of the works in terms of furniture, but wherein it comes to privacy, it's no longer the in thing. I have to sit and I have to adjust wherever possible. So I was kind of very averse to this idea. I said, no, this is not going to work. This is just not happening. I mean, how can you not have privacy at office? How can you, just go and sit wherever possible and try and adjust? This is actually not helping me, and it's making me very, very unproductive. But then later we realized that there are corners within the office, depending on the nature of work that I am performing, I can accommodate myself there. So if I prefer privacy, then there is a small cubicle kind of a space which is called a telephone booth, where I can go and place my laptop and start working from there. If I do not like to sit amongst the people or in the public, I can just pick up my beanbag and take it at any remote corner of the office and place myself there. So slowly and steadily, we started adapting to the work environment. And what I'm hearing today, because of the COVID-19 situation, is that again, starting June, when the office is reopened, May end or June, whenever the office is reopened, they're going to be maintaining a distance of at least 6 feet. So it's the 6 feet office that's now coming. So which means, like 20 years back, we had this huge place for ourselves to sit. That thing is going to come back again. My privacy is going to come back. Now, I might have been, accustomed now to sitting in a more social environment and adjusting myself accordingly. But what I understand now is that it's no longer the norm. I'm not allowed to do that because of social distancing. I have to maintain a specific distance within the office and ensure that I don't come in close contact with anybody who could be or might be a carrier of coronavirus. So this is what's happening. Now, when I speak to this about people, when I speak to this to a generation older to me, and I speak about it to a generation who's younger to me, it helps me understand that yes, I am a part of this world. I am a part of this generation which is making it happen. This in turn is going to help me boost my self-esteem to a level wherein anything that oozes out of me talks only and only about self-confidence. Whenever I raise my head to talk, I know I'm making sense because I'm a part of the generation X. I'm very well connected to generation Y, and I know that this is all working together. So this is how it's going to help me increase my self-esteem, and this is how it's going to help you become super confident individuals whenever and wherever you step out. Now, what's next? Career booster. I'm hoping that you're also able to see my screen. Just quickly, if you could just type, a couple of you could type if you're able to see my screen. Okay, great. Perfect. Yes. Okay. So the next is support mechanism. Pretty simple. As the word suggests, this is nothing but a sort of a reference, I would call it. Because when you have so many mentors within your organization who represent his or her own organization, this in turn means that they have already become a part of you. They're already connected to you, which in turn means that tomorrow, if you get stuck, if you are unable to take a decision, whether Wipro or Infosys or KPMG or Deloitte, which is the best, which one to look forward to. Oh, I wish I had some reference in FMCG, but then the career options that you have, you realize that you're not left with a choice, and you have to make a compromise. You would never want to be in that situation. So what your college is trying to do here is create a very, very, very strong support mechanism. They are trying already, and they have successfully rather done that. They have already created inroads to various companies across India. Now, what this means is that if you have a favorite in terms of a particular organization, if you have a favorite in terms of a particular segment or an industry that you look forward to, if not that particular organization, your mentor or somebody from your faculty will already be connected to some person within this organization who can make it happen for you. And how this helps you? Simple. Tomorrow, when you're targeting this particular company, which has been on top of your dream list, and then that there are mentors within your organization who work for this particular organization, and they feel that you are the right candidate, obviously based on a stream of things that are supposed to be done before you getting hired to that particular organization. But yes, it definitely makes things much simpler. It gives you confidence, it gives you the hope that you already have somebody who can make that dream come true, provided you as an individual have performed the level best from your end. You are the person and you are the one who's the right fit for this particular job. So it creates that mechanism for you, and it makes things very simple. Trust me, there have been ample examples within your college wherein people have been picked up based on their talent, based on their ability, based on how they have projected themselves, and come across very strong. So this leaves me with no particular reason not to hire this person, even if that means that there is a scarcity of a particular job role right now. But I need this person, so I will pick this person. Maybe park him for some time, but yes, I make sure that I have the best of the talent available with me. More or less the same thing applies with Career Booster. Now, many a times there might be from this particular group, there might be some people who are already working, who would simply relate to what I'm trying to tell you right now, and the majority of you who will be starting your career sooner or later. So the simple message for you here is, when you have a mentor available with you within the organization, it simply acts as a career booster, because you know that this person, him or her, is going to give you the right advice, because this person has been through that and he has no reason not to give you the right advice, because he's simply, one, he's a mentor there, two, he's there for your good, and three, he has to ensure your success. So there will be multiple reasons with this mentor to ensure that you succeed in your goals. Now what this means is that tomorrow, even after let's say a couple of years later, when you're stuck at a particular position for a long time and you're not able to assess that what is it that's not making you move. I have done the best in academics, I have done the best in this particular organization, but I'm still stuck as an assistant manager for the last 3 years. What is it that's stopping me from becoming the manager? Is it something that I need to unlearn, or is it something that I need to learn more? What's wrong? Who gives you these answers? Simple thing, your mentors. They might not be the same mentors that you are going to be with in the coming few months. They might be mentors whom you have picked up from within the organizations, from support organizations, or companies associated. Let's say, for example, my mentor, I at this date also have a mentor who's from a totally different industry. And whenever I reach a situation wherein I feel what's going wrong, what's going to happen tomorrow. So let's say this COVID-19 situation. So I was talking to my mentor, trying to understand what kind of impact is it going to have on the industry? Is another recession bound to happen? Are we going to make it? Will we survive? Are promotions going to be the normal thing going forward? Are people going to be laid off? Are the salaries going to be the same? Are bonuses going to be paid? Are there going to be some kind of cuts? There's so many questions going on right now in my mind. I can't tell you. And this is after 23 years in the industry. So you feel, when you hear that somebody's been working for the last 22 or 24 years, you feel that this person would know it all. But no, the right thing is that I still would need to look out for these answers from people who are more mature than me, who are more seasoned than me, who have been in the working environment probably a little longer, and have seen a few more seasons than I have. So yes, this mentor of mine probably is just 5 or 6 years elder to me, but I look up to him and try to understand, have you faced this situation before, sir? Are we going to recover from this? Are we going to make it? Are promotions still going to be the normal thing? And the very positive response that I get is yes. So this makes life simpler for me. It makes me, believe myself, and let me stay in the direction that I am in right now, and to ensure that I don't start becoming lazy and lethargic and end up becoming somebody who needs to be fired. So being a mentor, he's ensuring that I do not give it up. I keep working in the same stride, with the same passion, with the same energy, and don't get carried away with this pandemic. So it definitely is a career booster for me, because now I know, after speaking to my mentor, that I need to give in 200% of what I was given a couple of months back, because now is the time that I need to showcase my skills, my my additional abilities to cope up with the situation and come across even stronger. How will this help me in the long run? It's already recognized me. People have already started recognizing that, oh yes, this particular individual has been working 12 hours a day, making sure that he is in the forefront where all the action is happening. He's available on all the video calls. He's giving his inputs. He's trying to understand what different we can do. So all these inputs are being considered right now, and I'm very sure that in the next coming months, I will be considered for a promotion. All thanks to people whom I've learned from. So similarly, your mentors at any given point of time are definitely going to act as your career boosters. Well, that brings us to the end of what I had to say on the mentorship part, and I think we are well within time. Are we, Priyanka? Can we open the session for question and answers?
Yes, sir. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, very much.
Yes. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for the insight. And any participant who has a query uh, can ask a question. So I think if they unmute themselves and then ask a question, so would it do, or should they write it on the chat box?
I think it looks like a very disciplined group to me. So I will open this for people to unmute themselves and start asking questions. But yes, you have to make sure that you're not overlapping anybody else and are going step by step.
So please just unmute one by one and then just introduce yourself, speak your name, and then ask queries. Okay. Vrinda raised her hand. Okay, Vrinda, please unmute yourself.
Good evening, sir. Vranda Rateria here.
Very good evening, Brinda.
Yeah. So actually, I just wanted to ask how to choose the mentor. Like it happens. You also said that some people say that this is good for you. Other people say that this is good for you. So, sir, how to choose the mentor? Like who is saying correct or not?
Brinda, it's a very interesting question, and in fact, before starting this conversation, this is the very first question that came to my mind as well, because I was chatting to one of the students from your college, and she mentioned about this particular program called on Netflix, which is called Money Heist. Have you happened to see that?
No. Yes, I've heard the name. I've not seen that, but I've heard the name. Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, interestingly, it talks about it's about a money heist, as the name goes, but then it has some interesting characters, which is one of the characters is a very good character. One is a baddie. He's the bad guy. He's the one who is the most corrupt, and he's the one who does all the bad things within the group. But then, interestingly, this one person also happens to be the mentor of this good guy. So, to answer your question in simple words, uh, it's not necessary that your mentor has to be a noble person. It's not necessary that your mentor has to be the best or the best. Let's say if you have a choice from 10 mentors from different industries to choose from, and you say that this particular mentor is the best because his rating is very high, he's very well connected on LinkedIn, his Facebook likes are the highest. No. So does that mean that he's going to be the best mentor? The answer is no. Even the baddest of the person, or even the mediocre of the person, can teach you a lot. There'll be different lessons to learn from each and every individual. It's just that there has to be somebody there to ensure that your questions are answered. When is the right time to understand that this mentor is not helping you out? In simple words, when you stop getting answers, so the questions that you ask go unanswered, or it's always I'll get back to you, is the time when you need to look out for a different mentor. Because as long as you have somebody who can answer your questions and make sure that you're convinced and you go back with a smile, I think the job is done.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Vrinda. Who's next?
Hello, sir. This is Disha Ennis.
Hi, Disha.
Yes, sir. So, could you please share a situation when you entered into a corporate world and you thought, like, okay, I should have inculcated during my academics and I couldn't, so that it could help us to start with the day one?
Plenty of things, Disha. And again, a very good question. Thank you. This is going to help majority of people who are there on this call today. Now, when I entered the corporate world, I felt like somebody, like a Nobel Prize winner, because I felt that I have started my career from the scratch. So I started working when I was in college. Okay, so daytime I used to go to college, evening I used to sell. So there was something called pagers. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of, but
Yes.
right before mobile phones, there was something called pagers. So I
Yes.
used to go door to door, company to company, office to office, selling pagers. And in the night, I used to go home in the evening, late evenings, around 8:30, 9 o'clock. And at night, I used to, go around 11:30 to the same paging company, and I used to work at the call center. So technically speaking, I was literally working around 16 to 18 hours per day with no sleep, just to make it happen, and just to make sure that I have enough money to take me to a bigger city, to a larger city. That's when I moved to Mumbai after earning, and that's where I started my career with again a very big IT company. But so you take pride in that. You know that even before selling pagers, my first job was standing on Grand Trunk Road. A majority of you would know GT Road. It's called Grand Trunk Road. I used to stand on the road, stop trucks, and ask them, what tires do you use? How long does this tire last? When is the next time you're going to change a tire? I used to get paid, a very, you don't laugh at this, but yes, at that point of time, I used to get paid 30 rupees per truck, for asking this question to the truck driver. And along with that 30 rupees, I used to get around 300 abuses from the truck drivers. So, so when you started your career on that kind of a note, you take pride that, yes, I am the best. I've learned it from the scratch. I'm a self-made man. I'm somebody who's learned it hardcore. But when you enter the corporate world and you realize that this does not work there. So all these medals that I had on my chest, were taken aback when I entered the corporate world, and I realized that there are people who are much, much, much better than me. The biggest learning and the answer to your question, Disha, here is that at any given point of time, you should have this special skill set that makes you stand out. The two people who are most looked upon in any organization are the people who have a special skill set. To make it even more simpler, if you're very good at Excel, trust me, you are the shining star of the organization. If you're very good at preparing presentations, trust me, you're the best in that particular company. If you're very good at giving presentations, trust me, you're a star again. If you're very good at analytics and you can crunch numbers and come back with a simple 3 or 4 slides which talk about the company's revenue and growth and things like that, trust me, you're a star. So from whatever you learned right now, whatever qualifications you possess, make sure that you have this one special skill set that makes you stand out like a star. Does that answer your question, Disha?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Next, please.
I read a question from Tanuj. Tanuj, am I audible to you? Tanuj Pansara? Okay, great. So what Tanuj is asking is Tanuj says, how do you encourage innovative idea of your student? So I'm going to bifurcate your question into 2 parts. One is encouraging them to be innovative, and second is, if they've come up with an innovative idea, how do you take that up? So I don't know. The first part of it, I think that should become a habit. You're nothing without innovation. You have to be innovative not only in your respective organizations or in your college. You have to be innovative at home as well. In simple terms, it's called the street smart kind of a person. You know, if you do not know how to fix your tap, if you do not know how to iron your own clothes, if you do not know how to cook your own food, trust me, you are nowhere close to being innovative. Right now, what's happening is I know a majority of people who used to boast about not being able to cook, and they're like, I have the money, I can order it, right? I have seen those people literally crying and struggling to make things meet. They have nothing left right now. They cannot order food from themselves. The only thing that they can cook is Maggie, and there is hardly any innovation in that. Okay, so you need to have those innovative habits within you to come up with any kind of a situation, to come out of any kind of a situation, smiling. One. Second thing is, majority of innovation happens when you wake up in the morning and when you go to sleep at night. If you get those kind of innovative ideas, you need to make sure that they don't die off. What majority of us do is that, we feel that, oh, this could be done in this particular way. We think about it and forget about it. What happens next is that, when you see somebody's already done that, that is the time when you feel that, this could have changed my life forever. Like, for example, somebody trying to, do door-to-door delivery of various kind of stuff, be it plants or food or whatever. These all have been innovative ideas which some people have thought of, and then they have taken it to a conclusive end. So my suggestion to you would be, what I tell my students is, so a lot of them, in fact, there's something in terms of projects that was happening recently at your college, wherein one of my students, so this is the second batch that I'm mentoring right now. The previous batch ended last year. So one of the students from this particular batch walked up to me and said that, this is something that he has in terms of innovative idea. And he presented that and he won an award. So I asked him, what are you going to do about it next? He said, no, so we won the award, that's about it. Seriously, if that's the approach, trust me, you're going nowhere. If you're just doing things for the heck of doing them at this particular point of time, this is a habit that you're inculcating for the rest of your life. You will have these innovative ideas, but they will never have a conclusive end. So bottom line, if you have the smallest, the teeniest of innovation, even something to do with the tap in your sink, you feel that the water can flow towards the west instead of the north, try and take that to a conclusive end. Because once you get into the habit of, making your innovations work, you are already successful. I hope I've answered your question, Tanuj.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Next is Vignan. My question to you, sir, is who was your mentor and what made you choose that person as your mentor? If you don't mind asking, definitely not. In fact, I've had, mentors are for life, Vignan. The first mentor that I had was one of my biggest critics. This was the person who always kept, finding faults in me, always kept criticizing me. And trust me, when you reach a particular level in the corporate world, you are going to miss the people who criticize you. I strongly believe that the ones who criticize you are your bestest friends, because these are the ones who actually talk to you about your shortcomings. These are the people who make you feel low. These are the people who make you feel down. But yes, if you happen to overcome them, if you make your biggest weakness your strength. So what I did, I became friends with my biggest critic. I started asking him, okay, so you're finding faults in presentations of mine. What would you have done differently? And he said, oh, so this particular slide would have been done this way. I said, okay, show it to me. So, this is how I started entering into his personal space, trying to understand that what is it that he would have done. And trust me, he was successful. He was much better than I was when it came to presentations or Excel or, various such skills. So what I decided to do was, instead of, making myself feel sad about it, why not utilize it? Why not make my biggest weakness my biggest strength? So I became best friends with this particular person, and tried to shadow him as much as possible, only to realize that a couple of years later, he was one of my best mentors. Hope that answers your question. Vignan, I think you're on mute.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Yeah.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, next question that I see is from Galaxy A50. I don't think that's a name. Okay, so I would like this person to please, he's mentioned that. My apologies. It says, Priyanshu this side. I actually wanted to ask you that have you done any course or certification at your time which will help you further? Plenty of them, Priyanshu, plenty of them. Learning never stops. So I have worked for this organization called IBM. I'm sure most of you would have heard about it. And in the beginning, in the first 2 years rather, I hated this organization like anything. I felt it's the biggest mistake of my life, because the only thing this organization used to do was either we were always in meetings or we were always in trainings. So we used to step out of a training, enter a meeting, leave a meeting, enter a training. And that was probably the most hated phase of my life, because, I was just starting my journey into a very, very big corporate. And this is not what I wanted. I wanted to interact with people. I'm more on the talkative side. So I wanted to interact with people, try and understand how things happen, what is it that I need to do to be successful. But trainings, no, this is not what I signed up for. But today, a couple of years later, I feel that all the certifications, the Six Sigma certifications that I've done, the HPDI certificates that I've done, the communication skills certifications that I've done, all of them put together are helping me day in and out. So the physics that I might have learned during my school days might or might not be helping me, but trust me, trainings never stop. And if you are with an organization who focuses too much on trainings, pick it up, blindly pick it up. I can assure you that this is the best decision of your life, because learning never stops. And whatever you're learning right now, whatever these corporates are teaching you right now, even some simple stuff like communication skills, trust me, even that immensely helps you out. Does that answer your question, Priyanshu?
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Saurav Patnaik, what makes a good mentor-mentee relationship? Friendship is the simple answer, Saurav. You need to be friends, So this is that person in your life who, who acts as this shadowed stranger who's available to answer the shadiest questions that you might have in your mind. This is the person whom you can, I think it's a very strong word, I'll not use that. So you can go and complain about your teachers. You can go and complain about your parents. Go and complain about your boyfriend, your girlfriend. People who've been disturbing you. All of this, if it's done with the right zeal and with the right enthusiasm, trust me, this makes a very, very strong relationship. So as of today, I think I find my best friends in my mentees, because there is so much to learn from them. There's so much to learn from them. I used to hate a couple of things which I felt are complete nonsense. Binge watching, for example, I felt is the stupidest thing to do on earth. But when I became friends with them, when I tried to understand what is it that they're trying to achieve by doing such activities, trust me, it made a lot of sense to me. And today, if my life is simple, is because of the friends that I have from all age groups. Saurav?
Yes, sir.
Does that help?
Yeah, certainly, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. Vignan has another question. I have been doing few online courses lately, and in the Udemy and Coursera.com, I know how far can these certificates lead me in the long race, sir. More than certifications, Vignan, I would focus on learnings. Don't bother right now on the certificates. So I don't think anybody has asked me to show the green belt certification or the black belt certification that I have from Six Sigma. It's the knowledge that it speaks for itself. When you start working on particular projects, people don't ask you that are you a green belt or you a black belt. I've had examples of people who have been housekeepers, who have been janitors, but when I've asked them questions on technical stuff like maintenance and engineering, diesel generators, AHUs, HVACs, terms that even I struggle with on a day-to-day basis, and this particular person answers them all, it surprises me. I go back to them and ask, are you an engineer? Where have you done your engineering from? And when the answer comes, no sir, I'm not even a graduate, trust me, my mouth is left hanging. I have no answer to this person's question. I'm just amazed that how did you manage that? So when this person tells me that, I learned it all online on my phone, because, when my father gifted me the first smartphone, I tried utilizing it to the best. I think that's what matters. These certifications are good to have. They definitely add a lot of stars to your professional career. But more importantly, it's the learning that you have from these certifications. So whatever's teaching you stuff which you feel at this stage might help you in the longer run, trust me, it's this part of your life wherein you can afford the time. Do it. Do as much as you can.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Next is Sumant Kumar. It says, I have a question that how to measure the sustainability of any idea of a startup. You can't, Sumant. Practically, there is no particular weightage that is assigned to measure the sustainability of any particular startup. The only way that you can measure that is the passion of the team. The only way that you can measure that is how strong the idea is. If you feel that this particular proposal at this particular stage is not going to sustain in the long run, you need to be the one to stop it there and then. With your own logical reasoning, with your own experience, whichever you feel is the best at that particular point of time. But if you ask me honestly, is there any measure? No, there is no. I have seen the best of startups fizzle out just because they did not do enough to ensure that they survived in the market. I'll give a particular example of a startup recently, and I think I can name that because I don't know the person whom it belongs to. It's called Country Delight. This was somebody's idea to have an app in place to deliver milk door to door. Okay. Now, if you look at it, if you look at the weighing measures of the success of this idea, you would still have a lot of no in terms of the scalability of this kind of a business. How is it going to weigh in terms of the readily available options in the market? If somebody goes to a supermarket, it just picks up a couple of packets of milk. Majority of the crowd is young, so they don't even pick up the regular milk packets. They just go with Good Life and milk powders and stuff like that. And then the more conventional ones still have somebody like a farmer coming to their home with a drum, and that's how they get their milk. So this is not something that can sustain. It's not something for the long run. But trust me, this particular app had the maximum number of hits over the last 2 weeks. People even like me were wanting that, please get active. This is the time that we need you. Please come online. Please help us out. I don't want to go to the supermarket to buy 2 packets of milk. Deliver it to my doorstep. But they failed. So their response rates were low. They probably thought that they're not going to sustain, so they gave it up. So right now what's happening is, whatever orders that they're getting, they are picking only 30 to 40% of it. Had they given it enough thought and had they given it enough passion at that point of time, they would have been a major hit in the market at this particular point of time. You agree with me, I'm sure. Sumant? Okay, he says, thank you. Next is Anand. How do you think the current situation will affect our placements and job scenario in general? Not much. Honestly, not much. This might sound very surprising to you, but this is something that I was discussing a couple of hours back with one of the students from the college itself. Right now, it's affecting the people who are in the internship stage, and it's badly affecting them. And I can understand what they're going through right now, and there is a big question mark on all their foreheads. How is the career going to stand in the coming few months? But put it in simple terms, we have to simply follow what has been happening in China. If China has taken 3.5 months to recover itself and the economy is back on track, I think nothing can stop us from doing that. Because all these markets, all these industries, all these companies who are shut right now are going to be hit very bad. But in the long run, there is a lot of work that still needs to be done. If you think of it from an industry to industry perspective, let's say for project management. So I have a vertical within my organization wherein they said that after this, when they are laying off people, what makes you think that they're going to pick up projects? There are no new offices because there is no new office required. The ones which are already existing are going to be shut up, right? So that is the simple answer that I got. And I kind of understood that. I said, yes, you're right. After this economy going down, there is no need going to be, let's say for example, Accenture has 11 offices in Bangalore as of today. There is no need for them to open a 12th office, because they're going to have half the strength of people working. Probably they're going to shut another 3 and work with, 8 or 9. But suddenly, today, I get to know that there is this new thing called the 6 feet office, wherein you have to maintain distance, which means that your existing space, let's say, you had a 10,000 square feet office and you had around 20 employees sitting in that. Now those 20 employees have to be, sitting at least 6 feet away from each other, which means that you need a bigger space, which means that you will probably need to buy a new office. So you see, the dynamics are such that they are very rapidly changing. So there is no effect right now, and I can assure you, in the coming 6 months to 1 year, things are going to be back to normal the way they happened in the case of SARS or the MERS or the plagues that have happened so far. So be very confident about it. Okay, I think we are almost towards the end. I will take a couple of more questions. Priyanka, do we have more time?
Yes, I think we can extend it a little further.
Okay, Okay. So, Sumant, so Vignan, is that you again? So what is the one thing which you would share with the upcoming entrepreneurs? Because if there are 100 startups, the next almost 95 of them are getting shut down. What is the one thing that you would suggest to keep them motivated? So Vignan, again, if there are 100 startups and then 95 of them are getting shut down, trust me, another 100 are going to open. So if you watch the news, if you're following the startup industry right now, there are so many startups that have started in the last 2 weeks. So if the normal rate of a startup per day was around 20 new startups per day, the rate right now is at 35 to 40. So there is no reason that I see that they would need any kind of motivation. Rather, we need to talk to them and get ourselves motivated.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. Situ Rani, to get the best help from our mentor, should we have only one mentor? I mean, what according to you, your experience will be the best for an individual? There is no set limit, Situ, to the number of mentors that you have, but yes, don't overcrowd your space. Don't have too many people advising you what to do, what not to do. The best that I would put it is that, uh, segregate your requirements in terms of what is it that you would expect. Once you start highlighting the good areas in your life and the bad areas in your life, you realize that the number of bad areas that you have in your life are lesser. So what I do is, even at this stage, and what I recommend to my mentees also is that I might be good with certain things to help them out, but I might not be brilliant with each and everything. So what is it that I need to do? So I let them advance to people who can help them out in other walks of life. So there might be somebody who is very advanced in in terms of technology. I might not be that great. I might be great with motivating them or guiding them or helping them pick the right job or the right subjects or blah blah blah. But I might not be very advanced with technology. So I understand that I need to guide them, this particular person, to be with somebody who can help them understand technology in a friendly manner. It's not a formal coaching that you require. It's just a bit of shadowing that you need with this person, and that's it. A couple of tips and tricks this person tells you about Excel or about generally using the internet. I think that's good enough. So don't restrict yourself from having too many mentors. But yes, don't overcrowd your space as well. Just eat as much as you feel that is going to get digested in a good amount of time.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome,
Okay, sir.
Situ. You're welcome. Ritesh, how does subjective knowledge help in corporate job? Not very clear, Ritesh. Would you want to come online and read out your question?
Hi, sir. Apologies. I'm using a friend's phone.
Oh, okay, no problem.
I wanted to ask you, since I'm a BCom graduate and after that I started working. So I started working after my graduation. So the first bomber or the first hit that I was really interested in investments, and I joined a company with mutual funds.
Okay.
When I started working, it did not interest me so much while I was interested in studying.
One second. I think I request others to go on mute, please. I can see Dipan with.
Hello?
Yeah. So I think Priyanka muted me as well. Thanks, Priyanka. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Carry on.
Okay. So my query was while studying, it was quite interesting. When I came to work in a corporate field, it was completely different and did not interest me the way it was while studying. And secondly, I started working as an HR after that. And while studying, HR was not interesting at all, but working was quite different, and it's quite interesting for me. So while studying, we don't come to know what exactly a corporate job needs, and how is this studying thing is going to decide which job should be the one job which I should choose and I would like it.
Do you cook? I'm sorry, I'm going to call you Ritesh because that's the only name that's in front of me. Trisha. Okay, sorry. Yeah, Trisha. Do you cook?
Yeah, I do.
What do you cook best?
I cook like the basics necessity, like rice, dal, sabji, roti.
Give me one thing which is best, which is outstanding, which people praise you for.
Cake.
Cake? Okay, great. So you know cooking, right? You've learned the basic, ups and downs of cooking. You know what amount of salt. Salt is always, by estimate, it's never ever going to be half a teaspoon, right?
Yes.
Nobody's going to ever tell you that half a teaspoon of salt. You know it's going to fail. It doesn't work that way, right? Have you ever thought why is it that way?
Yeah, means like it depends on people's perception. It's like it's just the way we do it while cooking. No
Exactly.
measurement.
Some people like it a little more. Some people like it a little mild, right?
Yeah.
So, but coming back to the basics of cooking, you know that you can cook almost everything, but you know that cake is the best because when you're cooking a cake, there's a different amount of passion that comes from within, and you know that you're making something which is going to be beautiful, and it's heavenly, okay, and everybody's going to love it. So similarly, when you are in the process of studying, it's wrong to try and even understand what's going to be best for me right now. The best thing that you can do is get into an organization, try a couple of things, and then pick what is the best for you. Your cake lies within that organization, but you need to go and hunt for it. I'll give it to you as a practical example. So I thought either I know that I'm very good at communication, so I probably can be a good marketing person. Okay. But then when I had heard the broad definitions of marketing and communication, I thought that's the world for me. But then I realized that these guys don't do much. This is not something that I wanted to do. I mean, marketing, of course, is beautiful, and the people who do it are great. But that's not something that I wanted. So I decided to go into sales. I realized that, oh, I'm pretty good at sales. But then what's next? I mean, yes, I'm the best seller. I won the awards, year on, year on, year on. 10 years in this organization, I've been the best seller. So now I'm bored. I want to do something different. And you know what? I did it. Okay. So for the organization that I'm working for currently, I have been the best seller for the last 5 years. And then exactly after completing 5 years, I got so bored of it, I decided to get into operations. Everybody told that is suicide. I mean, why would you want to do operations when you're a seller? Operations job is working on Saturdays and Sundays, being available for the clients whenever they want you to. Why do you want to do something so suicidal? But then I said, no, let me see if it works for me. End result, I ended up in operations. I did that exactly for a year and realized that this is brilliant. Now, the combination that I have is I'm utilizing my operational skills in my sales skill. Whatever I used to sell till the last year, my sales have tripled. Why? Because when I speak to the clients now and they tell me something operational, I have the answer for it. And I can clearly tell them that, sir, from an operations perspective, this is how it works. Looking at my subject knowledge, they get impressed and they feel that, yes, whatever he's saying is right, because he is just not a sales guy. He knows it. He knows the operational, analytical part of it as well. So what I realized is that until and unless I try and cook each and everything within my organization, I will never find my cake. So now my cake, Trisha, is a blend of operations and sales. So that makes me a great CRM. So I'm doing CRM as well for my organization. Okay, they feel that whatever client needs to be retained, Rishi should go to this particular client and talk to him because he is not only a good seller, he knows the operational nuances of it as well and will be able to convince the client. So you see what I'm trying to make out of my career here?
Yeah, the variety of knowledge is always useful in any. Means if you're working in a different field, the different fields knowledge is always a perk to it.
Absolutely right. So if you are good at making a cake and somebody tells you dhokla, you know that it's the same process, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks, Trisha. Okay. Next one is from Sumant Kumar. Okay, Sumant says, I have one more question. Okay. Amid coronavirus epidemic, many startups are shutting down. So government taking any action to support them or send relief to them? Or are they on its own to face this? My heart goes out to people who are right now, street vendors, very honestly, Sumant, because I'm not more bothered about startups right now. I'm bothered about the livelihood of people who have not been able to open, their small stalls and, because their carts are not on the roads. And you can imagine, so these people usually take a daily loan. They take a loan on a daily basis and they repay it on a daily basis. Some of them take a weekly loan, they pay it on a weekly basis. So can you imagine the kind of hardships that this particular community would be going through right now. Startups, my heart goes out to them as well, but I'm not very worried because this is a bunch of very innovative people. So if not this, they will come up with something else. And the given talent that they already possess, it's just about the right timing and the right moment. They will be back on the tracks again. Does that answer your question, Suman? Okay, great. I'll take one last question, Priyanka.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Whom is it coming from? I don't see a last question. My apologies if I missed something in this whole list. I'm just trying to go. Okay, I think I've answered majority of them. Okay, so I think that's about it, Priyanka.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Akash, just a moment. Something that's coming from Akash 08. It says, sir, as after the current pandemic, what all qualities a recruiter must look at while they are recruiting a candidate? Survival. It's the survival of the fittest right now. If you have been able to cope up all these days in a locked up situation, I think you already are a winner, Akash. Because so these are testing times. Majority of people, including myself, are not used to being in this locked up situation. It's like a big boss house, and Honorable Mr. Modi comes in every 2 weeks and says something, which again keeps us in the same cage, right? But we obviously understand that it's for our own good, and the only person who's benefiting by staying at home is us. Similarly, whenever these recruiters are going to meet you next, they very well understand that these are the people who have been a part of history. These are the people who have survived such a horrible pandemic, and these are the people who are strong to make it. So there is already a medal that's going to be there on your chest. So I'm sure that this is going to be helping you with that. So don't worry about it at all. Barun Jha, last question. How to choose specializations wisely when we have no clue about the corporate world? Barun, I would say, specializations is nothing, but, it's something that should strike you as an interest. Don't go with the flow. When you feel that, majority of people around you are stupid. That's what we see on a day-to-day basis, that, I'm living with a bunch of stupid people. So when it comes to relying, that's the first thing that we do. That's what our instinct tells us, that if everybody is going with this particular direction, let me also do the same. But that's where you need to control yourself. That's where you need to get in touch with somebody who is an expert, like your mentor or somebody senior or somebody from the faculty, and try and understand how exactly is this particular specialization going to help you. If you're not convinced, trust me, don't go for it, because then it's going to be suicidal. Then it's not at all going to help. It's just going to be there for the heck of it. But you very well know from within that you just picked it because somebody told you to, and this is something that did not interest you at all. The best way is to understand from industry experts, speak to people senior to you, speak to people who are already in jobs right now, and ask them that, is this particular thing helping them right now? I think when it comes from the horse's mouth, that is the best. I hope that answers your question, Barun.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, great. Thanks, everybody. So I'm glad that I've been able to take this up today. Thanks to the IFM management team, especially Priyanka, Pradeep, Harini, who have been behind this. Thank you so much. Parmeshwari is what I've missed, and Anant, of course, has been behind me to conduct this. Thank you all very much. In case you guys still have any questions, please feel free to reach me. As I had mentioned earlier, I'm not available on social media, but I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have, either on email or you can WhatsApp it to me. My WhatsApp is not that fast as you would expect it to be, but yes, I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. In case you don't hear from me, I will definitely make it. My responses might be a bit slow, but I will definitely answer all your questions. You can take down my number from Priyanka. Priyanka, you can share it with people who would want to get in touch, and I'll be more than happy to help them out.
Thank you so much, sir, for sparing your valuable time to spend with the 2022 batch. Thank you so
My
much.
pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you all. Stay safe, stay blessed, and do good. Thank you.